Hey everybody, Nick here, and today I got a review for you of this little guy. This is the UltraTac K18 little AAA flashlight here. So first off, I want to thank very much my buddy Josh, Journeywind Junk. He's got a blog where he reviews gear and does a great job, and so he sent this little guy along, and I very much appreciate that, Josh. Thanks. Next thing, let's do a size comparison real quick. First off, here it is against a AA battery, and so you can see here it's actually a pretty nice size here for everyday carry. Here it is with a AAA battery, so again, not that much bigger than the AAA. CR123 18650 battery, not very huge here. And then against a couple of other compact carry options. This is the Nightcore tube and the Nightcore tip. I'll be comparing these two a little bit later on there. And what the heck, a standard US quarter. So there you go. And then one quick note on this guy. This has an interesting complication relative to a lot of your lights in that this guy actually comes with a 10440 battery. Which is a very small lithium-ion battery. It's same size as a AAA, so this can also take a AAA. But when you're using the 10440 battery, you can also use this little guy, which can come with it as a part of a kit here, which is a USB recharger for that little battery. And so this becomes a rechargeable little light here, and it becomes much brighter when it's using a lithium-ion battery. Alkaline batteries just don't tend to have that much performance, and so this is an improvement in that way. Pardon me. So anyways, let's go on ahead and jump into the good, the great, the bad, and the ugly of your little UltraTac K18 going on here. So first off, this is a very lightweight and small sort of light. I mean, this is not very big. Seriously, I mean, even compared to the AAA, there's not all that much there to it. And lightweight-wise, it comes in at 0.85 ounces. That's the kind of thing that you can just kind of throw in a pack and forget about. Sure, ounces add up to pounds, but this is small enough that it really doesn't matter, and I appreciate that very much. Next thing, this has a pretty impressive output on this guy. If you just turn it on here, what you can see here, oh, sorry, I just accidentally locked it out there. Come on. So, if you turn it on, there we go. And you take it all the way up to high. Come here. I swear this interface is better than usual. I'm just really messed up because I've been using a lot of lights lately. Come on. There we go. That's right. You just click this on. Smart. But anyways, it has pretty impressive output. On the high setting, it gives you 370 lumens, which is more than bright enough for pretty much any indoor task. And that you get about 20 minutes of runtime with that, which we'll talk about later, but still. On the middle setting, you get 80 lumens, which is enough to easily navigate in a dark room. No freaking problem there. And there you get an hour and a half. And then on the lowest setting, you get 9 lumens, which is very, very dim. But the thing is, it's still fine in a dark room. You can navigate. It's just a little bit on the creepy horror movie side. And there you get 14 hours. You can get much lower outputs using a good old-fashioned AAA battery here, but you do get much longer runtime. So that is something to keep in mind. The output on this guy is pretty impressive, especially when you can remember how the interface works after working with a couple of other buttons that are lights that are single action or a single button there. So there you go. The tint on these lights, by the way, is also fine. I am a bit of a tint snob. I tend to like lights that portray color in a reasonable way. This isn't like, oh my god, high CRI or anything like that. But the thing is, it's not like the kind of cloyingly bad blue LED tint that you get from some other kinds of things. This, for instance, is just a blue LED. This does a little bit better than that, and so no real complaints about the tint. Next thing, this does offer the USB recharging. Like I said, you can buy it in a little kit that comes with this little recharger here, and you just roll this onto the top there and then plug it in with a micro USB, and it'll charge your battery up, no freaking problem. This is actually a nice little thing, and it means that it's a better idea, for instance, for well, it's better than the kinds of lithium-ion lights that require you to buy a specialized charger and such. This can be given to somebody as a gift with the instruction. You just, well, put that on the top to recharge. But I like that very much. And it is definitely better than using alkaline batteries that you just throw away when you're done, environmentally speaking. There's an advantage there. Then finally, on the good side, this guy is cheap. It's coming in at $30, complete with the lithium-ion battery and the charger. That's a very reasonable price point, given everything that you get in here. And in terms of a small, rechargeable, everyday carry flashlight, you're hard-pressed to beat it for price. So, to me, that's what's good here, is that it's $30 with the battery and charger. The tint on this guy is fine, with an impressive output, absolutely. It has USB recharging, and it is very, very small and lightweight. On the great side to me is the fact that it's using a click switch on the head here. Most of the small AAA battery lights tend to use a twisty interface where you like twist and then untwist, twist, untwist, twist, untwist. And the thing is, these require two hands all the time to use, and they tend to be really clunky sorts of interfaces. This interface is actually fine. Like I said, my earliest screw-up was just because I've been using other lights that have a different setup here. But with this guy, you hold it down to start it off, and that starts you in the mode you were last in. Then if you click once, you move to the next mode. Then if you click once, it moves you, and you cycle through low, medium, high, low, medium, high, low, medium, high, over and over again. If it's on and you double click, you end up in your disco mode, and if you want to shut it off, you hold down, and then if you double click the light while it's off, it actually goes into lockout mode, which means I can click this button just as much as I would like, and nothing turns on, which is great, because if I want to turn the light back on, I just double-click again, and now we're back in the same vicinity. This is a really nice interface. The fact that it offers lockout easily is great. The fact that it offers the ability to turn the light on, off, to change it is just pretty straightforward. And believe it or not, once you're using it for a while, it is pretty intuitive. So I do very much appreciate the fact that they're using a click switch up here with a really intuitive lockout function, is it makes it a lot better than the twisty little numbers, and so to me that's what's great. Having the click switch interface that is relatively simple if you're a brilliant man, which I am not, and there you go. On the bad side, a couple of things. This is another damn black flashlight. That's not something I'm super in love with. Flashlights is something that you find in the dark. Why is it made the color of darkness? I don't get it. Whatever. Next thing, I am honestly not a big fan of the external recharger idea, because in some ways it defeats the purpose of having a USB recharge light, where you can just recharge it anywhere. You know, on this size of a light, I get it. You can't build the circuitry for USB recharging into something this small without making it much bigger. But I do wish that this were at least like on a lanyard loop or something like that, so you could keep this on your keychain too, and just swap things around. I mean, I think that would be a little bit better. But the simple fact is that by doing it this way, rather than just having, for instance, the USB port be on the side of the light, you kind of need to take it home to your USB charger to recharge it, rather than just, oh, there's a charger here, I'll charge up real quick. And that's not great, especially because the run times are really just not that impressive with the lithium-ion battery here. If you go on the high mode, you are 20 minutes away from a dead light, period. Oh, just locked it out. That's right. Hold this one down. Right now, I have 20 minutes of running at this setting, and this is really the only setting that feels bright, that feels like, okay, wow, I can definitely see indoors or even outdoors. But you only get 20 minutes there, and that's not really impressive, and even an hour and a half isn't going to last you very long. Actually, it'll last you an hour and a half. But still, and that's on the medium setting, which is the setting that doesn't feel a little bit horror movie creepy. And so this light is sort of in that feeling of, well, if you use the light, you're really going to need to recharge the light. Because any amount of time off of your 20 minutes is a non-trivial sort of thing. It's a tiny light. Look, I get it. And the battery that they're using is tiny, and it's giving a lot of output for the size there. And you can, like I said, get better run times by switching to alkaline, but with much lower output. But it really does make me wish that there was like an in-between setting, because right now you've got your low, your medium, your high, but there's not like a low plus, a slightly less medium, which would give you a higher runtime, maybe like 6 hours of runtime, and would give you something that's a little bit more workable indoors. I wish that there was something like that involved here. But, you know, as it is, the runtime on this is kind of the bugaboo. It's a small light, so you get small runtimes, but 20 minutes on high, that's pretty small. So to me, that's the bad here, is that it is 20 minutes on high runtime, which isn't super impressive. There's no in-between settings. You're either at very high, medium, which is still pretty high, or very low. It's using the external recharger, which kind of defeats the purpose in some ways of the USB recharge, and it is yet another damn black flashlight. Ugly-wise, you know, the runtimes would be ugly if it were a bigger light, but honestly, for the size, yeah, it's a limitation of, you know, physics and whatnot as it stands. So there's nothing on here that's like super ugly to me. And so, final conclusion, this is a great light for its size. It is small, it's lightweight, it's thin, and it's still pretty damn powerful. And it has a much better user interface than most of the AAA lights out there in the world. I am so done with trying to twist with one hand to do the two-hand thing on a little... No, that's a bad interface. Bad. bad. And so I like very much the interface here. The bugaboo, like I said, is the run times here, and particularly with the rechargeable. And given the fact that the recharger is a separate and losable piece, and it's one that you're not likely to have, if you use this guy for 20 minutes and you kill it, guess what? You're without a light for the rest of the day. For most people, you may not use the light for more than 20 minutes, and you can maybe get by in medium, but still, that's not super impressive. And that's, I don't know, that's tough. So there is a lot of joy here, but there are other good options as well. Actually, this is a really good option. This is the Nightcore Tip, which is a very similar light in a lot of ways. It's a different form factor, but it is a USB rechargeable light that gets suspiciously bright. It's a little bit bigger, as you can see here, but it's about the same output and duration on the high, but it has medium modes that'll get you through the night. You get like a 6-hour medium mode, which is in a very nice happy medium between the low on this guy and the medium there. And it is USB recharged right on here, which is nice. So you can just plug it in anywhere, and the price is exactly the same. So you should absolutely be considering this guy. This has a much weaker lockout mode, though, unfortunately. So that's really the disadvantage here, but this is another thing you should definitely be considering. But the thing is, look, this is a fine little piece. If you're looking for something tiny, 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 space is at a premium, and you don't mind any of these downsides, you don't intend to use your light on high for more than 20 minutes, well, then look, this is a fine little piece, and it may absolutely light an ultra fire in your heart. So there you go. Hope this has been interesting to you. Have yourselves an absolutely wonderful rest of your day. Bye now.